Hey Riley, Mr. Orr here. When I was trying to pick the next book to read to you, as I was at the library, I thought, what's the biggest rule, the biggest no-no that I was always told when I was trying to select books myself when I was your age? And the biggest thing that everyone told me, every adult wagging their finger told me, was that you can't judge a book by its cover. Well, I'm happy to announce that I picked a book solely off of the cover. And I think, just based on that, we have a solid book with us here today. Today we are reading Nobody Likes a Goblin. The reason I think this book is so fantastic is because not only is it a wonderful story to read, but the pictures are incredible in this book. You really feel like you are in each setting that the pictures present. And hopefully you enjoy both parts of that, both the story and the scenery of this book. So I present to you today, without any further delay, Nobody Likes a Goblin by Ben Hatke. Nobody likes a goblin. Deep in a dungeon, the bats were sleeping soundly. And a goblin woke to a new day. He's a cute little thing, isn't he? He lit the torches. He fed the rats. He gnawed on an old boat for breakfast, and he thought about the day ahead. Oh, here we go. Okay.
I think I'll go see Skeleton,
said the goblin. Skeleton lived in the treasure room, and he was Goblin's very best friend. They counted bats. They played roll the dice. And Skeleton told Goblin stories from the days when he was a mighty warrior. He even let Goblin try on his old crown.
Look at me,
said Goblin.
I'm the Goblin King.
But then came the sound of boots on stone. Adventurers were storming the dungeon. They scared the rats. They knocked over the torches. They plundered the pantry. And Goblin hid under his bed until they went away. The adventurers took everything. They took the gold. They took the maps and the books, the gems and the scrolls, and they took Skeleton. So Goblin put on his crown and walked out into the wide world to find his friend. Goblin had one neighbor, a hill troll that lived in a cave nearby.
I'm looking for my friend Skeleton,
Goblin told him. I saw your friend, said the troll. He was with the adventurers who took my honk-honk away from the mountains.
I'll get your honk-honk back,
said Goblin. Be careful, said the troll. Nobody likes a goblin.
I'll be okay,
said Goblin, and he walked up into the hills. And away over the mountains. Look at that scenery right there, Riley. Looks fantastic. On the far side of the mountains, Goblin met a farmer.
I'm looking for my friend Skeleton,
said Goblin. Ah! Shrieked the farmer. A filthy goblin! And he chased Goblin down the road. The farmer chased Goblin right through an inn of elves. Ugh! Said the innkeeper. A disgusting little goblin. Catch it! Cried the elves. And they tried. The farmer, the innkeeper, and the elves chased Goblin to the edge of the haunted swamp, and there Goblin saw the adventurers pulling a cartload of spoils, and sitting atop the treasure was Skeleton! Shouted Goblin. Get that goblin! Shouted everyone. Goblin grabbed a hold of his friend and ran. Goblin and Skeleton ran through the haunted swamp until they passed a cave.
We're heading here,
said Goblin. They're looking for us, said Skeleton. They will find us soon.
I know,
said Goblin.
Troll was right. Nobody likes a goblin.
Well, I like Goblin, said Skeleton, and the two friends sat together and waited for their doom. But then,
Excuse me,
said a voice from way in the back of the cave. Goblin turned and saw many eyes staring at him from the darkness.
do you know who else likes a goblin?
Said the voice. I can only do one goblin voice. More goblins! Look at all those goblins,
We saw your crown.
said the other goblins.
Are you the Goblin King?
Goblin thought for a moment. What would you say, Riley? You were in Goblin's shoes. Are you the Goblin King? Would you call yourself the Goblin King? Well, guess what?
Yes,
He said.
yes I am. We must defend the Goblin King,
Said the other goblins. And they did. Oh, what chaos. And look how proudly the King Goblin stands there, watching all of his chaos created. The farmer, the innkeeper, and the elves ran for the hills. And the adventurers, well, they were never heard from again. And so Goblin and Skeleton and their new friends traveled together back through the swamp, up the road, over the mountains, down the hill, and home to the dungeon. The end. Well, if you got anything from this, you got a good story. And an added bonus, you got Mr. Orr recorded on video forever, giving probably maybe the weirdest goblin impression you've ever seen. Riley, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed your Disney trip as well. It was so good seeing all those updates about you. We're keeping up with you. We hope you're enjoying these videos. We'll see you later. Have a great day, Riley. Take care.